Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another video. Now in this one I'm going to be showing you guys like some cool stuff that you can do with the Steam Deck. And we'll start off with some of the coolest things first, like for example controlling the PS5 and controlling the PC. So for the PS5, what we're doing is we're using this thing, tshirts. You can download it from the software center in the in desktop mode. So once you do, you would register your PS5 here, and then you can then connect to it like so. So you see the PS5 running there, and then here it is. So you also get the audio from the PS5, so I'll just decrease that a little bit. And so yeah, if we go into Astrobot here, you can see that runs quite well. So if you put your PS5 into sleep mode, you can also wake it using this thing. So you can leave your PS5, kind of on standby, and then when you're not at home or whatever, you can connect back to your house over VPN, and then you can, run it like so. But anyway, yeah, so here you get, the stats. So since I have good Wi-Fi, I have 0 packet loss, 0 drop frames. Yeah, we'll just go into some random level here, why not? Yeah, so replicates what you see on the screen anyway. And you have, the tilt controls and everything. So everything, still works. And since it's the Steam Deck, you can also use the gyro. So, the way if you hold this thing, you can also do that to look around, which will be pretty handy for some games. I suppose not for this one. All right. And then to exit out of the PS5, what you do is you hold these buttons and then these two buttons. It brings up this thing here, and then you can exit out of this. But before I do that, oh yeah, I remember I set it to this thing. Yeah, so here now, so yeah, I just set this in the Steam settings to bring up, the PS5 power menu or whatever. So yeah, then I can just turn off the PS5 here like so, or put it into a rest mode or whatever, and then you're back. So then on the PC side, there's actually a couple of different plugins running here. So first of all, on the PC side, we're using Moon Deck to kind of manage stuff, and we're also using Moonlight to actually stream. So the Moon Deck, you download it from, the Decky store. It is over here somewhere. There it is, Moon Deck. And then for Moonlight, you download it from the software center in the desktop mode. So in here, my PC is actually currently off. So if we come over here, you'll see that this is my PC over here. Now the Moon Deck plugin has support for Wake on LAN, which if I click this button here, you see my PC turned on. So yeah, this is pretty cool, since when I'm not at home and I'm connected over VPN, I can, use this thing to wake up the PC and then just wait for it to turn on. And on the PC side, you do need to set this thing up to work with Wake on LAN. You can actually wake it from your phone if you wanted to. There's loads of Wake on LAN apps. And I've set up my PC so that it auto logs in, and it will run the Moon Deck Buddy, and it'll also run the Moonlight server as well, which is I think I'm using Artemis. I'll check now once the PC boots up. Yeah, so it's actually Apollo that I'm using for the server, and a Moon Deck Buddy, and also have Steam running on startup as well. So this is when the PC turned on. It auto logged in without any user interaction. And so now, if you look at the Moon Deck plugin here, you can see that it says Game Streams Online and Buddy is online. So what this lets you do is lets you play games from your PC, using your PC horsepower, and stream them to your Steam Deck directly. So I'll show you this with Cyberpunk, for example. So inside my collections here, I have Moon Deck manual, and Moon Deck basically it sets up games so you see the way this looks like it's native to the Steam Deck, but it's actually not. If you were to go into properties here, you can see here that it's using Moon Deck, so it's actually launching the app through Moon Deck, but it looks like a native app, which is pretty cool. So what Apollo does is it creates a fake display on your PC, so you can see my screen's actually shut down. So yeah, this is Cyberpunk running on PC now, and so on the PC there's like a fake screen that mirrors this thing, but you can't actually see it, because that's kind of one of the advantages of Apollo versus the other stuff. So here we are. So yeah, I'll just click continue here. And so this is Cyberpunk here now running with, full ray tracing, full everything. So yeah, there it is. And if you can see, we are getting 133 FPS, and with DLSS we're getting 266. So yeah, that is pretty good. Then so yeah, you can see it's nice and smooth. This also helps because the Steam Deck screen is it's only 800p, so it's all good. Okay, there is a bit of lag sometimes when the screens kind of like flicker on. So what you do is you would actually physically disconnect the screens from the power, and that will solve that issue. But anyway, if I were to go into settings here, you can see that the graphics, we're using DLSS resolution, transformer model, we're using psycho ray tracing and all that kind of stuff. So the graphics are absolutely maxed out to the max running on the Steam Deck, and we're getting 130 FPS, which is pretty fucking cool. And you can obviously do this for all the games pretty much that are too heavy to run. And then you can also use the gyro to aim as well. So yeah, you can dial it in and then whoop, kind of flick to the head or whatever. So yeah, pretty cool. To exit this, you just literally exit the game like so, and then it should bring back the PC screens here. Oh yes, I'm actually still inside still inside the PC, but yeah, now we're exited back to the Steam Deck, and then you can see the screens, they automatically turn on. So the PC is now here. The only kind of bad thing is the PC is left in big picture mode. So, but once you're done playing the game, you can just, turn off the PC anyway. So if you wanted to control the PC directly from the Steam Deck, what you do is you go into, you just launch Moonlight by itself. And then you have your computer here. And here what you want to do is you just want to, do the desktop. Yeah, and so now we are actually on the Windows with that stupid fucking error. But anyway, so here we have, you know, the start bar. You can like do whatever you want then. So I'm just gonna shut the PC down right now. And then that's how you would, you know, kind of control your PC fully remotely. So that's the kind of cool stuff that you can do. Another thing is with EmuDeck, you can easily sort out your emulation. So look at this here. I have, let's see, where is it? Yeah, so like PS2 here, I have 129 games, all have, you know, the cover art. So with the EmuDeck, all you need to do is just need to load in your ISOs into a folder on your SD card or wherever you want, and then it will create all this stuff. It'll create the collection, it'll download all the art and all that kind of stuff, and then then you could just play the game like as if it was a native game, and all the controls for, you know, the save state and all that kind of stuff is saved across this, or saved across all the emulators. So like the key binding, you know, to create a save state would be the same across the PS2 emulator, across the PS1 emulator, across the Xbox emulator and all that kind of stuff. Here's one of the PS2 games running here. So it's Burnout 3. So I'll just quickly load into one of the yokes here. And then you can see it running. So yeah, PS2 emulation is pretty good on this, as it should be. Yeah. Alright, a bit of lag there. Alright, got one boy. Got another boy, I think. Oh shit, killed myself. Okay, well, it is what it is. Then you could just, you know, exit the game just like normal. And then, so you also have Xbox 360 emulators. So the only game I have on this is Skate. It's probably the best fucking game on the Xbox, so yeah. Alright, looks like it has forgotten my save maybe. Yeah, but it looks good too. It's like, you know, it does do upscaling up to the resolution, so it looks fairly decent. All right. Yeah, so I think I should have already. Yeah, so I do already have a profile here, so it should load my previous save here. And yeah, there we go. So yeah, all good. Then you can do, you know, the stuff. Now for some reason it's a bit laggy. I think that's because, oh yeah, oh yeah, I set the TDP limit to 5 watts. You would need the full 15 watts for Xbox 360 emulation because it is quite heavy. But yeah, now as you can see, it's running nice and smooth. I don't remember what I was playing that I set it to 5 watts, but I think it was like some fucking 2D game. Yeah. And then you can also use, you know, the trackpads. So yeah, pretty cool stuff. So yeah, the PS2 probably wouldn't have lagged if I wasn't at 5 watts, but it is what it is. And yeah, so I also have some Sony PlayStation games, but yeah, those are, you know, obviously a lot easier to run than anything else, so that's fine. Let's see, what else? Oh yeah, I suppose I should go through all the decky plugins that I have. Yeah, so, oh yeah, Junk Store, will start off with that one. So, what Junk Store is, it allows you to kind of natively use Epic Games, so you can natively download Epic Games. And so yeah, you'll see that all of my Epic Games are here. So you can install them, download them. Yeah, I have this one installed already, so you can just launch it from here. Or you can launch it from, you know, the main menu here. I think I have a collection for Epic Games. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, all of my Epic Games are in this tab here. So that's basically what Junk Store does. Tab Master lets you create custom tabs. So you kind of already saw it there. So I have an Epic Games tab where all my Epic Games are. So this is kind of, if you don't want to use the collection system, I find the collection system to be pretty nice. So kind of use a bit of both, really. Yeah, because the Emu deck does, you know, the collections obviously. So you would use the collections for Emu deck, but then for all the other stuff, you can just do kind of your own tabs and whatnot. So far, I only created the Epic Games tab. Yeah, and that's it pretty much. Okay, well, anyway, next thing is the Moon deck. We already saw that one. Next one is Magic Black. So what this does is, when you're downloading a game, because the Steam Deck doesn't fucking turn its screen off, with this thing, once you enable it, the screen is actually turned off, so you're not, you know, wasting battery, or you're not burning this display. And since this is OLED, so yeah, and then to turn it off, just press this thing and then you'll be right back. All right, next thing is Wine Cellar. This is pretty important. Here, what you can do is you can download new versions of wine. So I can see that they released a good bit of versions. So there's already 10, 15 now. So if we install this one, for example, once it's done extracting, there we go. So it does say requires restart, but we'll see. So for example, in this game, if we go into properties, if we go into compatibility, here it's using Proton 9, but we can change it to use our custom Proton. Okay, so it didn't actually populate it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to restart the Steam Deck here. And when we're back, it should be on that list. All right, so I've rebooted now. So let's check if it's available. And it is here. So yeah, generally the newer Proton versions are better. So get like better FPS and all that kind of stuff. So if we launch it here, and if we were to do the basic overlay here. Now the first time you launch a game, well, when you change, you know, the Proton version, it needs to unpack a bunch of shite. so it might take a while to actually launch the game. Then you can see that the new kind of Proton versions are working nicely. So do a nice good drift around here. So yeah, keep an eye on the updates for these Proton versions, because yeah, they're good. All right, next one is EmuDeck, which you kind of install from desktop mode and you manage it there. So I'm not going to show that one now. Next one is Power Tools. Now this one, if you're doing a lot of emulation, it's actually recommended to disable hyperthreading. But apart from that, I don't really use this too much. Even though the charge limit I did set the other day, I guess it didn't keep it or something. That's weird. Oh yeah, persistent profile. Okay, I guess I forgot to click that the other time. But yeah, if you don't set the charge limit here, sometimes it goes over 80%, even though if you actually set it in the Steam Deck settings too. That's really the only reason why I use it. Also, during emulation, I turn this off sometimes. Sometimes it helps, other times it doesn't. So it is, you know, great. So animation changer. This just lets you change, the boot animation and all that kind of stuff. I haven't actually played around with this too much because I kind of like one of the default boot animations that I have. So with the ping pong ball. All right, so Proton DB badges. This is what you see here. So this tells you how good the game is to run on Linux, and this drift game is pretty good. So platinum is the best. It means it runs like, flawlessly. So this is sometimes better than the Steam thing that they have. So yeah, download that thing anyway. Next thing is CSS loader. So here you can download a bunch of stuff. So for example, like my volume is, it looks cool. It's like a nice gradient. And then also if I go home, oh yeah, also this thing. So you see the way it's like, transparent, which looks cool. And if I go to library, I think I changed something here so that they're like grid or something. Maybe I changed something in home as well. Yeah. But anyway, the themes here, you can click on the download and then you'll have, all the themes that you possibly ever want, which is pretty cool. I think I also downloaded a theme for this thing, maybe. Oh yeah, I definitely downloaded a theme for these buttons. See the way these buttons are like a gradient as well, which is pretty cool. So yeah, oops. So next thing is Steam Grid DB. I kind of forgot what this was. Oh yeah, I think it's these icons here. Yeah, I think it's them. Possibly in library. Yeah, I think that's them. Okay, anyway, next thing is game theme music. This didn't really work for me, but yeah, if it works for you, I don't know. It's pretty good. So basically, it's meant to be like, if you go into BeamNG drive or whatever, it's meant to play the music here. So you can actually see it here inside change theme music. But yeah, like I can never, the search just never works for some reason. Maybe if you download the things manually, but I just couldn't be bothered to set it up properly. Audio loader, this is a pretty cool one. So this changes the sound of the UI. So if I were to increase the volume, you can hear my sound that I'm using for, you know, the volume buttons or the, you know, the input. So yeah, because I'm using, you know, tactile UI. There's also PS2 sounds, so you can do stuff like that, or default. But yeah, the tactile UI is nice. Then there's also you could change like kind of the home theme. So this will just kind of, you know, play throughout while there's nothing else playing. You can hear the PS5 home theme there. What I had it on, I think, was this thing. It's kind of like, you know, cyberpunk-ish. So that's what the audio loader is anyway. So I'll just decrease the volume. Next is HLTB. I kind of forgot what this is. Oh yeah, this is how long to beat. Okay, yeah. So if you go into any game here, like Dying Light 2, yeah, here we go. So see, it pops up here. It says the main story is 18 hours. So this is basically like how long to beat this game. So pretty cool stuff. Next one is cheat deck. So what this is it helps you run trainers, for example. So I'll show you here on one of the games that I've set up. Oh yeah, there it is, Hades. So if I launch Hades now, it's gonna open up two windows. It's gonna open up the window game and it's gonna open up the trainer as well. As you can see here, it opened up the trainer here. So if we were to set the player speed to 2 times, or actually we'll just fucking, yeah, 2 times, whatever. And then you can change the window then by going here. And then you can see the game loaded. Now I should be able to run twice as fast. So you see, I'm running like super fast now. And then if I were to then switch back to the previous window. Now sometimes it does start to glitch out a little bit. But you can sort of like do this. So yeah. Then if I were to turn off the player speed and go back to the game, then you can see that I'm running, you know, at normal speed now. So yeah, it's pretty handy if the game is just too fucking grindy. You can, you know, download a trainer and set it up. So to set up a trainer, what you do is you go into cheat deck here, enable cheat, and then your cheat path. So my cheat path is just downloads hades.exe. So yeah. Okay. So next one is MetaDeck. The hell is this? Sort of forgot what this is. Yeah, let me go into the decky store and search for it. Okay, MetaDeck. All right, so this is viewing metadata for non-Steam games. I don't think I set this up properly. So it's meant to be viewing like, you know, how long you played and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, as you can see here, there's no like time for how long I played this, so obviously it's not working. But yeah. Anyway, if it does work, you'll be grand. So the last one here is auto flat packs. So what this is so whenever you download software from the software center in desktop mode, it will generally be a flat pack, and so this way you can update all of them without going into desktop mode. And so yeah, that's kind of it for all the kind of plugins and stuff. So if we go into desktop mode here, and I'll show you the EmuDeck kind of setup, what is going on here. Yeah, it's also, if you want to share game files between your PC and your Steam Deck, you can do it using local send, which is just kind of like the Dropbox or whatever the fuck iPhones use. But anyway, oh yeah, there's also Heroic Games Launcher, which lets you again download, you know, games from GOG and stuff like that. So if we open up that one, yeah, so this is how I have Cyberpunk installed locally on the Steam Deck, like, you know, for testing. Obviously, we'll never play it on the Steam Deck because I can just stream it from the PC, and it's it looks much better. But yeah, that's how Heroic Games Launcher looks like anyway. And then EmuDeck itself, if we launch it up, so yeah, you have all your emulators here. So yeah, and then if you were to go into your ROM manager, so this should fire up here, and this is what actually scans for all of your games. Now, so yeah, here shows up all the kind of games you want to scan, and if you wanted to add games here, for example, it's gonna parse. Now, probably isn't gonna find any new games because I didn't add any new games. But anyway, it'll show up all your games. Once it's done, then what you can do is you can press save to Steam, or you can, you know, change the wallpaper and all that kind of stuff. So yeah. Now, since mine are already added, I don't need to do anything. But yeah, you can, you know, flick around and change the wallpaper if you wanted to like something different, even though they all look the same. No, there we go. Yeah, so there's a different one here. But yeah, that's how you would set up the emulator, and so that's how it would build all the collections for you. But anyway, I'm just gonna exit all that. And so yeah, that's pretty much it for all the stuff, I suppose. So yeah, thank you boys for watching.